We have another Miami Heat mailbag on tap for all of you today, but if you have been wondering why you haven't seen your name on our mailbag, well, it's probably because you're not subscribed, because we got all these questions from our community page, and we often put out more content there, polls, quizzes, updates on the Miami Heat on our community page. So if you want to see that and potentially be featured on our mailbag in the future, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are closing in on 14,000 subscribers. Can we get there before the preseason starts in October? I hope so. Let's do it for Tyler Herro. Let's get to 14K. All right, let's do this thing. The first question coming in from Jay Ruby. Hopefully Ruby. Is Tyler Herro getting traded? And we've often talked about if Herro should get dealt, if he will get dealt, who he can be traded for. If you're asking me to make my prediction, I don't think he gets traded. Do I think he needs to be? Yes. Do I think they should try to look to move him out for a better player like a Trae Young, a Lauri Markkanen, a Brandon Ingram? Absolutely. I'd even trade him for Kyle Kuzma, who might just be slightly better, but I think is a better fit on this team and has a better contract. I don't think Miami's going to do that, though. It feels pretty locked in that they're going to try to run it back unless a crazy name comes available in the trade market prior to training camp in October, which also doesn't feel that likely that is going to happen. So I think Tyler Herro is going to survive another offseason in Miami, and we're just going to have to hope that he takes a little bit of a leap. He's averaged 20 points per game the last 3 seasons, but he hasn't been able to stay on the floor consistently and give you good playoff minutes. Can he do that finally this year? It's the question we've been saying for the past 2 off seasons, but it really feels like this could really be the last time he has a chance to prove himself. Aaron Fitzgerald, 7412. Do you want Micky Arison to sell the team? I really do. Micky Arison is obviously the owner of the Miami Heat. He also owns Carnival Cruise Lines, which is how he made most of his money. Carnival Cruise. Have you guys ever been on a Carnival Cruise? I've been on 2. So I have given money to Micky Arison in my past. As a little kid, I haven't been on a cruise since maybe, I think I was 13 when the last time I went. I went on one when I was 8, one on 13. Sorry, I know you guys don't care. Back to the question. I know a lot of us make jokes on social media about Micky Arison not willing to spend, but the truth of the matter is that's actually not true. It's false, right? The Heat have been a tax-paying team for pretty much the last 5 years. And so Micky Arison is willing to spend money. That's not an issue. And he's willing to spend money for the right things. I know a lot of us were critical of the Bradley Beal, that they didn't want to go into the second apron, blame Micky Arison for that, the no trade clause thing, but I guess that ultimately worked out for Miami because Bradley Beal was horrible last year and dealt with a lot of injuries. So, no, I don't want Micky Arison to sell the team. The jokes are fun. They're funny to make fun of him not paying the luxury tax and wanting to upgrade this team, but the more stability you have in ownership in the front office, the better, and he is willing to commit and pay to the front office. We see Pat Riley make quite a lot of money, and Eric Spoelstra makes quite a lot of money. So when Mickey has right things, he is willing to spend. But let me know, are you like Aaron Fitzgerald? Do you want Micky Arison to sell the team? Type Y for yes or type N for no. I really don't care. I'd like to just have the more stability here. It's, to me, just having Pat Riley actually go out there and make a move. Stephen Woodruff, SN1QE. Will the Heat trade for Kevin Durant? I wish. The short answer is no. Now I'm going to give you an explanation why, but the short answer is no here. As much as I'd love Kevin Durant to be on the Miami Heat, we know Pat Riley would like KD to be here. They've went after him twice in 2022 and in 2016 before he joined the Warriors and before he ultimately was traded to the Phoenix Suns. And KD would be really fun, man. K. Dizzle, Bam, Jimmy, that's a dangerous big 3. But the issue is, with Phoenix being a second apron team, you can't aggregate salaries in a trade with them. So if you were going to trade for Kevin Durant's $50 million salary, well, that means you'd have to trade Jimmy Butler in that deal. And the truth is, Kevin Durant, is he better than Jimmy? Yes. But Jimmy Butler has had more success as a number 1 option in the playoffs, 1, and 2, what would be the point of trading Jimmy for KD? Because even if it is a little bit of an upgrade, it's so marginal to where it does not impact anything in the Eastern Conference race. So the only way I'm trading for KD is if it's KD, Jimmy, and Bam, which is not possible. And So that's probably not going to happen, folks. And Kevin Durant's not going anywhere either because, well, the Suns are going to run it back. So Kevin Durant trade, even though Dan Le Batard said and talked about it a couple weeks ago, it's not going to happen. Mr. 305 worldwide. Should the Heat tank for Cooper Flagg? Oh, okay. Didn't expect this question to be on today's mailbag, but here we are. Mr. 305 asked about Cooper Flagg, the number one player in the draft coming up in 2025. And he is a phenomenal player, man. He really is. It's unfortunate that he's going to Duke Blue Devils because F Duke. I hate the Dukies, and you should too. But let's be honest here. A white North American player going to Duke as a number one guy, is everything right in the world again? Maybe. But either way, Flagg is so good. He dominates defensively. He has a three-point shot. He can score at all three levels. He is so impressive that when Team USA was training for the Olympics 2 or 3 weeks ago, they always have the team select there to run scrimmages with. Cooper Flagg was there. Yeah, as a 17-year-old, not even a college player. It's usually filled up of ex-NBA players or young NBA stars. Like Jaime Jaquez Jr. was on the team. And you know what the reports out of that camp was? That the two best players there, one was Jaime Jaquez Jr., thumbs up. 2, Cooper Flagg as a 17-year-old. We saw clips. We saw a sequence of Cooper Flagg isoing Anthony Davis, knocking down a tray ball, getting back on defense, forcing a steal, getting back on offense, and finishing a putback and one dunk on Bam Adebayo. Now, it wasn't a poster, and it wasn't really a dunk. It was more of like a tip-in, but really close to the rim. But it was still an N1. Like, he has the full package to be an elite player in the NBA, and he's going to be on that same tier to me as Victor Wembanyama. Maybe a little less demigod, but that type of impact guy right away. But to come full circle and answer this question, the Heat aren't going to tank for Cooper Flagg, and I am not in the business of tanking. Pat Riley's not in the business of tanking. The only way Cooper Flagg could ever be a Heatle is if Bam and Jimmy get hurt again and miss like 60% of the year, and this team is like a top 8 lottery team, and they somehow win the lottery. It's the only way Cooper Flagg's going to be a Heatle. They should not tank for him because I hate tanking, but man, oh man, Cooper Flagg and Bam and for the next 10 years, I would sign up for that in a heartbeat. All right, before we move on here with more of our mailbag, a little update on our August sub battle that we started just a couple of days ago. We got off to an early lead, 28 subs here. Good work. Bulls are only at 22. Help us out, though. Beat the Bulls. Also subscribe because you get daily content here on the Miami Heat. Bobby Sanders, 581, coming in with a question. When is a realistic time the Heat could win the NBA championship again? Well, it's been quite a while, folks. What is it, 11 years now after the third championship in Heat history against the San Antonio Spurs? Allen from the corner. Bang! All right, either way here, to answer the question, I'm getting a lot very sidetracked on today's show. Sorry, folks. But it's tough because unless you make a trade in the next 6 months, probably not going to win a championship with Jimmy Butler and Bam, which means throw the next 2 years out the window. And do we think Jaime, Jovic, Kalel, Ware, and Bam can win a title in 4 years? Maybe if they really hit on their other draft picks and somehow make a good trade. Like, I'm thinking 4 or 5 years minimum. I hate to say that. Like, the Heat will always be a playoff team and always be competitive, and maybe they have a run in them to shock us all. But to be like title favorites and be at the top echelon of the NBA, like the Thunder, the Celtics, the Sixers, the Knicks, the Timberwolves are right now, I think 5-6 years at the very minimum. And you have to really hit on other draft picks and hope Kalel, Ware, and Hawkeyes take an unbelievable next step. Retrez Jimmy. Thoughts on the Rockets being open to trade Jalen Green for Jimmy? Yeah, I did see that rumor/report a couple weeks ago that the Rockets would have been willing to trade Jalen Green for Jimmy Butler. We're like, no shit. Like, how would you have gotten Jimmy Butler from Miami if it wasn't Jalen Green? Well, first of all, I got to be honest. I wouldn't even want Jalen Green. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the offseason, and Jimmy Butler's not being traded, so let's just say that right now. But if we did make a trade for Houston, this was before the NBA draft, it would have always been the 3rd overall pick. I would have wanted Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore, so it would have been number 3, Amen, Cam Whitmore, 2 young guys, and the 3rd pick. Obviously, they took Reed Shepherd, who looks like a stud, so even if they traded for Jimmy now. It would take different salary, but I'd want Reed Shepherd, Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore. Not moving off that. But we don't really have to think about that because the Jimmy Butler trade is just simply not going to happen. So we're moving on. And unfortunately, if he leaves next offseason, he leaves next offseason. And it sucks, but it is what it is. All right, that's going to do it for today's mailbag. If you want to ask more questions on the Miami Heat, you can do it over at my Twitter, at Nic_Rohloff. DMs are open. Not afraid to answer any of you guys hitting me up. So go give me a follow. Talking Heat basketball every day at Nic_Rohloff.